strength of movement. I don't have my little Pilates ball. It's over there. By putting a pillow or a tension ball in between your knees. I have one over there. It's orange. Okay, girl, I can't remember what color yours is. It's a little inflatable ball, right, that you can squeeze between the knees, and that will increase the activation of the pelvic floor and the inner thigh, which are two of the primary stabilizers of this hip, right, and the transverse abdominis. We're going to go 2 more repetitions. I'm already feeling this in my SI joint. I need to visit the chiropractor. And I just found out my favorite massage therapist is selling her house, so I don't know if she's quitting, retiring. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? All right. Left hand over left knee. Inhaling. In position. Exhale. I want you to draw that knee towards your body and push into the right foot. Now, again, inhaling. You're paying attention to how your hips feel. You're paying attention to how your low back feels. You're paying attention to how your SI joint feels. We want to gently move the hip in its natural directions, right, in its mobility, without straining or without over extending. But we need to move the hip. We need to gain the elasticity back in those ligaments. And when we do this in a natural movement supported, right, those ligaments, we increase blood flow, we increase oxygenation because of blood flow, and then, of course, we increase healing. And your ligaments can heal. It takes a while. If you've got any tears, I mean, usually when the ligaments are completely ripped, they require orthoscopic surgery. Release. Let's go right side. Inhale in position. Exhale. I'm pushing gently into the left foot. Inhaling just to the length of the arm. This is an asymmetrical Apanasana. Greetings, badasses. My name is Julia. This is the fucking yoga company, Yoga for the Rest of Us. All of the benefits, none of the bullshit. This is a Viniyoga practice. Viniyoga is a therapeutic style of yoga. It's a little older than some of the new modern transnational physical yoga, MTPY, which I would say most Western practitioners have experienced in some way or another. So it kind of brings back some of the, and mind you, I do not like to use the word traditional capital T because there's lots of variation of what yoga is and what yoga isn't, what physical yoga is, what physical yoga isn't, where it came from, what the origins are. And you know what? If you want a very quick primer on the differences, this is by no means the deepest or most technical, historical source. If you want that, you should, what's the name of that fucking book? I think it's called Yoga Body. No. Is it called Yoga Body? Anyway, Mark Singleton did he did his doctoral thesis on yoga, the history of yoga, the transmission of yoga, the Orientalism and yoga, and all of the weird things and how yoga got turned into this thing that we now know probably the most about, which is transnational physical yoga. So, but I do give you a brief summary about of that process in this chapter called What the Fuck is Yoga, right? because we bandy that term around a lot. Viniyoga, which is my particular background, and it is how I, not only do I inform my vinyasa flows and my relaxation flows and my morning groove flows, all of the things I do yoga oriented, right? Not only does Viniyoga inform all of those practices, but I use Viniyoga to inform my Pilates. I use Viniyoga to inform calisthenics. So everything that I do for you is all, right? Instead of all of these different things without any alignment, without any connective tissue, this is the fucking yoga company, right? I'm going to do that in a little mini. I'll put this up. Anyway, the book, the fucking yoga book, this one is the primer. The second one will be out. I thought it was going to be out next year, but my dad fell. My 91-year-old father fell and broke his hip. Anyway, that might be a little delayed, but the second book is all going to be all about the poses, right? The primary poses, where they came from, what's the history behind them, why they're beneficial, and then also why some of those poses are bullshit, right? As you know, there are some poses that are absolute ego poses that are fucked up, and you don't need to do them. However, today, Viniyoga, therapeutic style of yoga based in the tenets of Vini, right? Of a kinder, gentler yoga, excuse me. Today is going out to my darling K girl who just had a poggle. Not just. I don't know what, I forgot his birthday. You know what I mean? I don't know. I forgot the poggle's birthday. I'll look it up. It's fine. I don't have to have that information in my brain right now. Having a baby sort of destroys your body. It reshapes. Let me change that. It completely and dramatically reshapes your physical body, right? So many things have to happen for you to gestate a human being fully and completely to term. And then so many other things have to happen to deliver that baby into this existence. And then, oh my God, so many things happen to you after that baby is delivered. And you become a completely different human being, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So I loved this. I forgot who did this interview. I sent it to K-Girl. She had a very amazing, I'll look it up and find it, put it in the description, where she talks about, having a baby basically, I think, ruined or dismantled her relationship with the baby's father because she became a completely new human being. It's transformative, right? And it's also hard. It's really fucking hard, and it just blasts your body. It's not an easy thing to do under the best of circumstances. And then there are all sorts of things that can happen. And think about, well, anyway, I don't want to get onto this. I could hop on that soapbox, milk crate. I could hop on my soapbox and talk about it. That being said, in post delivery, right? Post birth, this one is going to be beneficial for low back and hips and sacrum. And what I am going to encourage you to do, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to model this with a variety of things. K-Girl, I know you have this because I sent it to you, or I sent something similar to you. A couch cushion, a firm pillow. This is a buckwheat bolster that I have a love-hate relationship with. I hate it because the zipper is on the long side. I have a cotton batting one from Gaiam. They're not sponsoring me. Gaiam, sponsor me, but you won't because I swear a lot and I don't believe in a lot of the bullshit that you promote. Anyway, there's a Gaiam one that's cotton batting, like organic cotton batting. And I like that one because it has a zipper on the end. So it's really out of your way when you're working with this bolster. So this one is Brentwood. Brentwood, fix this fucking bolster. If you fix this bolster, I would buy it again and I would love it. Okay? Put the zipper here or here on the bottom. Get rid of one of these handles and put the fucking zipper on the end. Because everything that you do on this bolster in this shape means you're rubbing up against this fucking zipper. And I'm going to, have I reviewed this? I'm going to review it again. I'm going to send them an email. They could do it on the end. Take this handle off and do it on the end because this is bullshit. Look, it's right there. And you'll see how you're going to rub up against it in this flow. Anyway, get some, or you could use a couple of yoga mat blankets. You could roll them up together. You need something that's going to be supportive. Okay, girl, do you need some extra yoga blankets? I'll send you some. I'm sending you some shampoo anyway, so I'll get all that on. Okay, so that said, this flow is going to be for hips, low back, and sacrum. I want you, if you're coming off post-delivery, I don't know if it's a postpartum, sure. You're going to support yourself at all times. I want you to work within your comfort zone with a little bit of challenge, right? Pain is your body's way of saying, whoa, 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 back off, right? There's a difference between pain and change and discomfort. And discomfort, comfortably uncomfortable is where I want you to be. You will get stronger. You will get better. It will start to improve, right? So, I'm sorry I'm shouting again. I don't know. I'm just hot. I'm just operating at a high RPM in general. I need to take it down a notch. So, today, hips. Now, that being said, we're going to start on our backs, and we're going to warm up, and we're going to do this flow. And get blankets, get cushioned, get you're going to need a block, or you can use this bolster. I'm going to show you how to use the block. And then when we do this other stuff, I'm going to show you how to use this bolster. Okay? All right, let's get on that. So that's going off to the side. We're going to our backs. And let's do this. You ready? All right. And I'm going to start in a weird position for me because I'm going to start over here with my head at the forward end of the mat. I don't usually do that. This is just so, it's awkward. It's going to be awkward for me. Give me a break. I'm changing shit up. All right. So, first things first. Get into a comfortable position. Okay, girl, women, my postpartum women, if this is uncomfortable on your sacrum, right, on your SI joint, on the pelvic cradle in general, what you can do in between using the bolster and the block is grab a blanket, and see how I have this folded? Grab a blanket and slide this just under the tailbone and the sacrum, not quite to your hips. That will elevate you, and that will take some of the pressure off of your pelvic cradle. So your pelvic floor is also fucking ravaged. So sometimes the pressure of the weight of your bladder and your uterus put a lot of pressure on the pelvic floor. Tilting your hips slightly like this will take that pressure off, and allow you to move a little freer, right? You'll get a little bit more work out of what we're doing. Okay, there's your first modification. I don't need that. And then you can also, right, remember, adjust the fold of the blanket. You can undo it as you get stronger. All right. Pulling our attention and awareness from the external to the internal, taking a scan of the body, checking in, state and quality of the physical form. I want you to notice where you're at with this bad mamma jamma. What is going on? And how do you feel? Right in this moment, I want you to take a scan. How do the hips feel? How do your quads feel? So your hip girdle, right? Our quads, hamstrings, transverse abdominis, obliques, adductors, hamstring, glutes. They all kind of crisscross around the head of that femur to keep the femur in in this nice lovely curve of the pelvic cradle of the pubic bone of the yeah. I'm sorry. It just felt like it felt like I babbled. I sunk into speaking yoga tongue there. So I'm right. Your pelvis wraps around your head. The head of your femur sits right here. It's a very mobile joint, and it's held in position by a lot of different insertion points and muscles and ligaments, right? Pulling that attention and awareness into the state and quality of your thinking. Let's get rid of that bullshit. I don't know what's going on in you or what's going on with you, but let's slide all that other stuff off to the side, and we're going to hold some nice, lovely silence for this practice. I will stop shouting. I'm totally fucking shouting. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but I can't get it under control. I'm just a bubbling brook, a bubbling lava pit. Magma. And then let's move that silence into the awareness of our breath. So in Viniyoga, we use the breath. It's the primary function of the practice, right? We're going to breathe into the chest, breathe up under the ribs. We're going to expand the belly down and gently out, but I want you to work at controlling that with the pelvic floor up and in, with the low transverse abdominis together, right? We'll talk about this transverse abdominis in a little bit, but I want you to imagine wrapping everything up together gently. And then as you exhale, we scoop the low belly, we collapse the belly button, we let the ribs drop, and we release the upper chest and shoulders. So it's this ocean swelling breath that you're definitely going to feel in this position. So let's get that started. We start with the inhale, in breathing in through our nose, out through our nose. If that doesn't work for you, just breathe it. And I want you to inhale so deeply that you hit a point where you have to pause and shift manually in your brain to the exhale. Same thing, control that exhale until you hit the point where you have to pause and shift into the inhale. That's a 4-part breath. Now, I'm not a breathing coach. But I can tell you, you can work through that breath and you can hold that. Suspension is the breath out. Retention is holding the breath in. There are places, right, at suspension and retention where you can pause. You can start to increase that beat to 2 beats, and you can increase the length of breath from whatever your strongest breath is. You can slow that down a beat or 2 at a time. That's a lovely 4-part breathing practice. You're also going to hear yoga instructors describe the 4-part breath as physical extension. So, right? Expanding through the sides of your body, frontward, toward the back, and out to the sides. I've heard the 4-part breath described like that as well. All right, we're going to work pelvic tilt. Scooch the heels a little closer to the glutes. As you inhale, now this is opposite of Pilates. I want you to rock up just to the rib cage, squeeze the glutes, hollow the belly out, and as you exhale, roll down toward the mat. One little teeny weeny movement at a time. There it is. Inhale. And because of the length of breath, right, these are really slow. This is a really slow movement. And exhale. Now you can increase this. Three more of those. And release down. We're going to work asymmetrical Apanasana, and then we're rolling over to our belly. So just both arms up. So we're going to go 6 rounds of this symmetrical Apanasana. Inhaling here. Really scoop the pelvic floor up and in. And then wherever you're at, you can give a little tilt of the tailbone up. That's a deeper scoop of the transverse abdominis, right? So again, oh God, I forgot what it's called. So we're talking about SPD, which is symphysis pelvic dysfunction. And then there's, what's the transverse abdominis one? So SPD, and then there's one about the transverse abdominis that I can't recall right at this particular moment. One more time. Then we want to work gently toward and releasing down. Take a breath or two here, a little rock side to side. Hey, listen, I'm feeling the heat in my SI joint. You are definitely feeling heat in your SI joint. So we're going to roll over, just log roll to the belly. Again, my SPD people, cushion your hips with a blanket. So if that blanket is there when you tilted those hips, just leave it. I'm going to come here with another blanket and tuck my forehead to the mat. We're going to work a little cobra, and we're going to do some leg lifting. And again, very gentle, very gentle. Sorry, I got to look at my notes and double check of what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to start with cobra, little rock side to side, elbows at your side, forearm squeezed toward the body, right? Heels of my hands are out up from underneath my shoulders. Exhale all the air out of your lungs. We're inhaling and lifting the body with the back and the transverse abdominis. Now, you can exhale as you go down. You can control the strength of this. Maybe you're just going to come up here as you get stronger, right? Maybe that's where you're at. Remember, if you're experiencing ouchy face pain, face scrunching, wrinkle-inducing pain, take it down a notch. But if it's just discomfort, right, you're figuring out your limitations, and you're going to work through some of those. So remember, this is about being kind to your body and helping heal rather than forcing the body to go faster, right, or become stronger more quickly. We're not demanding of the body. We're encouraging the body. And one more time. So this is gentle. This is not the pelvic lumbar rhythm. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, we're going to lift the body, right? Upper body. I want you then to lift the left leg gently and then lower the forehead and the left leg. Inhale, lift the body. Exhale, lift the right leg. Ooh. Bring it down and release. Now let me work the breath here for a minute. I'm doing this incrementally, so let me think. So we're going to inhale up. We're exhaling, lifting the leg. Inhaling in position. Exhaling, releasing down. That's what we're doing. Inhaling up. Exhale, lift the leg gently. Inhale. Exhale. And maybe this can be so small, right? So I'm going to show you an example of how small it could be. You could just barely lift the chest. Inhale, barely lift. All you have to do is lift the knee and the quad. It doesn't even have to come off the mat. It could be right here. Maybe just you're extending that leg, right? All of this is about activation of the transverse abdominis and the latissimus dorsi. We want to strengthen these muscles to help support our healing, to help support inhaling up, exhale, inhale, release. This is the last set. And release. All right, take a little rock side to side. All right, we're going to keep our body down. So I'm just going to rest my head on the back of my hands. Now, we can work towards a strong expression, what I like to say, expression of the pose. I will show you what that would look like, but we're going to do the modified version to start out with, all right? So the fullest expression of what we're going to do, the asana that we're doing next, is inhaling up, exhaling both the legs up, squeezing together, releasing, and coming down. That's the strongest expression of that pose, of what we're doing. However, we're going to start modified, right? Which means we're going to rest our forehead on the back of our hands. I like this position because it mimics, right, the placement of the arms in a regular cobra. And now we're going to inhale, legs up, exhale, squeeze them together, inhale, open, exhale, release. Now notice how small this is. Inhale up. I'm just lifting my quads barely off the mat. Exhale together. Inhale. Exhale. Scoop the belly as much as you can. Pull the pelvic floor up and in. Inhale. Squeeze the toes together. And release. Inhale up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Exhale, go down. Sorry, that was a poor cue. 2 more of those. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. 1 more time. And inhale. Exhale. Open. And release. Take a little rock side to side into those hips. Now, again, as you get stronger, right, you can do that fuller expression. We're going to come up to hands and knees. I like to pad my knees with a blanket. And I also want you to be mindful of your hips. So I'm going to show you how to modify this Mama Jamma. Whoops. Because it is going to be about adductors. It's going to be about hamstring and hip. And I don't want you to go real far. So the first one is going to be a Vajrasana, hero pose to Vajrasana and a fold. Now, I'm going to do this in the modification for you so that you can see how this works. Bolster, pillow, couch cushion, whatever you've got is going to go between my knees, right? And that's where I'm sitting. You see that? And I'm going to put my knees on the blanket because I like to cushion my knees. All right? So this is the support. Now you can do this on the block as well if you only have a block. And you can sit your tailbone on that. It's a little higher. If this is too much for you, you could also crank that up a little bit. What I like about the bolster as opposed to the block is this pelvic floor of yours is tender. You got some tender bits down there, and the bolster will relieve some of that. All right, so we're going to start here in hero pose, right? Scoop the belly. As we inhale, we're lifting to knees, and we're going to extend arms. So exhale all the air out of your lungs to start. Inhale. We're lifting, and now we're going to exhale into the fold. Fold first, drop into the hips, bow the head. Big low back stretch here. Scoop the belly, inhale. Coming down into the hero, and exhale. That's it. Okay, we're going to do that how many more times? I'm just going to go. Inhale up, squeeze that core, squeeze the pelvic floor up and in. Scoop the belly for the fold first. Big low back stretch here. Scoop the belly, inhale up. And come down to that bolster. And release, okay? Release it down. 2 more of those. Inhaling up. Scoop it. This is upper body. So round the back, round the back, round the back. We want to work these hips gently. You want to stretch the low back. 1 more. This is the pelvic lumbar curve, right? And release. All right, we're going to go to hands and knees. You can keep that bolster there if you want. I'm going to move it. Just for a minute. Well, now we're going to do some what the fuck leans. Although that means I want my block in between my ankles. Little rock side to side. And this is why you could keep that bolster in between your knees, because it'll force those legs to be in parallel. Inhaling at center, exhale, rock into that hip. Now, excuse me, you need to be mindful of where you're leaning. Now I'm going to go deep lean. I'm scooping the belly here, inhaling, exhaling. I'm holding that pelvic floor up and in. And holding the weight of my body up with the core. This is working through glute med. This is working a little, you might be feeling a little piriformis here. This is a way to move and flex and stretch and strengthen. Gently, gently, gently. One more time in both directions. Inhaling to center, angry cat tuck. Flat back. angry cat tuck. Now remember, angry cat tuck has nothing to do with the upper back or the shoulders. I'm shrugging the shoulders down. I'm going to flatten the upper back and just tuck the tailbone. And one more time. And coming forward. All right. We're going to move to our backs again. And now I'm going to come back into my position that I'm more comfortable in. I was going to do a little Ekapada Ustrasana, but I think we're going to come back into more stabilization. So bolster or pillow, wherever you, within arm's reach, blanket, whatever you're using, within arm's reach. Okay. Now we're going to do some stabilization work in addition to some stretching. So again, get on that blanket, get yourself cozy, right? If your pelvic cradle is sore, if your SI joint is just killing you, give me that cushion. It's okay. You could also tuck that blanket up, rock your hips up slightly to take the pressure off of the pelvic cradle. So this is going to be a reclined wide ankle. This is Supta Prasita. I don't have my glasses on. If you like the Sanskrit, I wrote down the Sanskrit, but I can't read it. Supta Prasarita Padangustasana. Supta Prasarita Padangustasana. So this is a wide angle. This is a reclined wide angle, right? Supta Kanasana is reclined cobbler, right? Reclined triangle. So Supta, reclined. Okay. So there are two ways to do this, and I want you to mind which way you're the stronger. Again, this is all about reading your body and listening. So you can do this with just the knees bent and relaxed, floating those knees over your hips. This is the modification, which we're going to do, okay? As you get stronger, you can extend those legs. You're lengthening the lever. You're increasing the weight and the pressure into the hips. You're going to increase the weight and the pressure and the tension as you work through these adductors and piriformis and glute, okay? So just start. The backs of the hands go together, palms to the insides of the knees. Just hook those fingers right underneath the back of the knees. Exhale all the air out of the lungs. We're going to inhale, and as we inhale, we're pressing out. Now, you decide how far is too far, right? Now, as you exhale, I want you to press the waistband into the mat, scoop the belly and the low transverse abdominis. Squeeze together the knees, but press out with the hands. Yes? Inhale, we're releasing out for the stretch. Exhale, press into the waistband. Scoop the belly. Squeeze those knees together, but press out with the hands. Three more. Two more. One more. And release the feet to the mat. Heat, heat, heat. Feeling heat, heat, heat. That's a good response to that work. All right. We're going to work some twists, some leg twists, and then we're going to work some Baddha Konasanas, and then we're going to do some hip lifts. It's called a clam lift. All right. Get that pillow, get that bolster, get whatever you're doing that you're using for support. I want you to put it right on to your left. Extend the left leg. Arms at your sides in a comfortable position. I have to burp. Laying flat is the worst position for burping. Just saying. Float that right knee right above your hip. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. We're going to take the body over and you're going to stop at that bolster, right? Inhaling, unwind. You don't want to overextend this. As you get more mobile, as you become stronger and this starts to feel, let's say, less challenging, you can lower, right, your leg. You can remove the bolster and go a little bit lower. Maybe put a blanket there or a block. I want you to keep your knee, shin, and ankle in the same plane, parallel to the floor. This is gentle stretching piriformis, stabilization with the low belly of that hip. One more time. Okay, we're going to do the same on the other side. Now, I don't lengthen that right leg, move that bolster to the other side. I'm just going to leave mine off because I know where I'm going. Right? Inhale to prepare. In parallel, exhale. Come right on over to that point. Listen, even if you are not going all the way over, I'm feeling that, right? So scoop the belly, support the leg. The bolster takes some of the pressure off of holding your leg up. It's a release valve here, right? If you want to strengthen that stretch, if you're feeling it, I'm definitely feeling this right up my transverse abdominis through my obliques. This is your piriformis, your glute med, glute max. 2 more. Right? I want you to put that poggle down for a nap or put them in the swing. And get your ass on the mat and unwind. Whoo! Heat, heat, heat. Big toe out to the edge of the mat. We're going to windshield wiper sweep, and then we're going to work on our konasanas. And then we're going to do our hip lifts. Are we going to do our hip lifts? You know what? Let's do the konasanas. Press the soles of the feet together. Again, I want you to judge how much energy you have for this konasana. Let me show you what I want you to do if it's too strong. Okay. Now I'm going to do a full konasana, which means we're going to start with our knees, toes, calves, thighs squeezed together. We're going to come down, rock into the edge of those feet, and let the knees hang for a beat. Scoop that belly, press the waistband into the mat like we did before, and draw those knees together. Just a different placement of the legs. If this is too strong, just to hang here and hold those legs up, I want you to take a pillow, a couple of couch cushions, a couple of blankets, and rock, put them right underneath. Look at, I can support my legs here without going all the way through, but I can still get this engagement and squeeze together, okay? Again, as you get stronger, you can move those blocks out a little bit. You're going to increase the angle of your release, still getting that support here, press in, scoop it up and in until you're ready to take it on without the prop, without the support. We inhale, open, press the waistband into the mat, scoop the belly, squeeze those knees together. Baddha Konasana. Inhale, open. Tilt the pelvic floor, tilt the pelvis so that you can press that waistband in the mat. Flatten the spine against the floor. Inhaling, now release. This is neutral position. You're going to feel a little slide right under the rib cage. Now squeeze that space down and get it together. You know what's going to be really fun? Trying to get my dad to do this on the mat. Never going to happen. I got to figure out how to modify this to the chair. There's going to be some new chair flows. I'm going to do one tomorrow, actually, or maybe later today. I've been working with him in his wheelchair. One more time. And squeeze. All right. We're going to lay over to our left. Let me check time. Oh, yeah. Let's lay over to our left. Now, I want you to support your head with the blanket. I'm just going to use the block. No, that's too high. I want your head to be in alignment with your spine. You know what? I'm just going to use this bolster because I'm going to use the smaller bolster. So I'm going to use the big bolster to support my head. I'm going to grab this small bolster just like you're going to grab a pillow or your a body pillow, whatever you've got, a rolled up blanket, and put it between your knees. You see how this fucking zipper is in the way? Do you see, Brentwood? Sorry, not a rant. What's new? I want your knees 90 degrees to your hips. I want your ankles 90 degrees to your knees. You ready? Scoop the belly up and in. We're going to inhale and lift this leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Control it, control it, control it. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower it and control. Now, your lift might look like this. That's perfectly okay. We're stabilizing this hip joint. We're using the core. We're using the adductors. We're using the hamstring, the glute med, the piriformis, the quad, and the hip flexors. Creating some heat. Now, as we get stronger, we're going to work on going lower and lower, lower, taking that pillow out. One more time. And then we'll straighten that leg and work it from the floor up, right? That's, again, those are the goals. Remember, we're working within our limitations today. We're just modifying the shit out of this hip flow. I'll put up a stronger version later. No temptation. Here we go. Knees, 90 degrees to hips. Whoo, I'm feeling my hip. Ankles, 90 degrees to knees. Exhale all the air out of the lungs. I am shouting again. Why am I shouting? Inhaling up. I got to take down my rage. It's just anxiety and rage. It's okay. Perfectly natural in this situation. When we want to manage it, I had to take an extra breath in there to release some of my mental and emotional chaff. Keeping that leg in parallel, right? Knee, shin, ankle. 2 more. And releasing. Whoo! That's some heat. You feeling those? Woo! I'm feeling that. All right. I'm moving my bolsters out of the way. I'm going to come to my back. We're going to do some windshield wiper sweeps. And then we're going to do a final Apanasana, symmetrical. And then we're going to take a little relaxation. Whew. All right. Big foot, big toe to the edge of the mat. Again, I want you to work within your range of motion. You might just be getting a stretch right here. This might be strong enough for you that you're just breathing here and letting your hips work this rotation. It's weird. Maybe you want to take a little rock. We're going to go windshield wiper sweep over. Again, you listen to your body. Where do you need to stop that tilt, right? You control this. That was 1. We're going to do 3 more. Oh, yeah, I'm getting my dad on the floor. I don't know how to do this in the chair. I'm going to do some modification work. 2. 3. And ready in. Okay, so we're going to do 6 rounds of Apanasana, and then we're going to take relaxation. Fingers over the tops of the knees. Inhaling at center. Exhale, draw up and in. Little tilt to that tailbone. 2. 3. 3 more. Last one. All right, you're going to release those feet to the mat. Now, everyone's keeping their feet on the mat, knees to the ceiling. There's just so much going on in this low back. If you want to put a cushion or a bolster or the blanket underneath your hips, I'm all for that. Okay, girl, if you're going to use this block the way we talked about, instead of doing it on this side, I want you to do it on the long side. So this is very high. I want you to go down to the big flat side because we want to relax. Ooh, I'm just going to do this because that just feels fucking good. It feels good for everyone. What this is doing is pressing into that pelvic cradle, right? Your SI joint is an extension of your spine. It's made up of the rest of your vertebra, but it's somewhat, quote unquote, immobile. It's not fully immobile. Sometimes your SI joint can get out of alignment and it's extremely painful. And that's kind of what can happen in SPD, right? So I want you to lay on this flat surface of the block to it's extra pressure. We're going to use gravity to take the, I know these are the ischial spines. It's the big flat part of your pelvis. We're going to use gravity. We're pushing the weight down in an even plane between the SI and the extension of the pelvic bone. Did that make sense? I think it did. All right. Pulling your attention and awareness into the state and quality of your forehead. I want you to let go of all the tiny little muscles and nerve endings there. Soften around the eyes. Unclench the teeth. Let the tongue relax away from the roof of the mouth. Give me a little shake of the head now. Wiggle the fingers, roll the wrists, shake out the arms. Now, follow the spine. This is a little awkward, right? Because we're up in this elevated position. But just follow the spine down into the hips. I want you to start relaxing all of the muscles of the torso. I want you to feel relaxed and heavy in those hips. Turn the feet out a little wider. Let the knees drift in. Give me a shake of a leg and relax. Give me a shake of the other leg and relax. Wiggle the toes and feel the body rest toward the floor. Pulling that inhale, intention and awareness into the state and quality of your brain. And let's hold some silence for ourselves. Right? Anything that's scooping up against our awareness, let's slide it off the side. If that poggle is quiet and okay, just stay. Be mindful of that. Just relax and let your emotions and mental noise soften. And then move that softness and silence into the breath. And we're just going to breathe here. All right. We're going to lift hips. Slide off that block. Go so slow. Squeeze those glutes and then slowly roll the spine down. All right. Lengthen legs. Wiggle the fingers. Wiggle the toes. Ooh. That is some heat. Lengthen those arms out. Reach up and give me that nice big Y-shaped stretch. Holy Toledo. One knee up. Give it a squeeze. How are we feeling? Wow. Wow. Oh. Little rock side to side. There is some heat. Heat is the body's response. There's blood flow. There's oxygenation, right? Because of blood flow. We've worked. Oh. And that pressure on the pelvic cradle, or not on the pelvic cradle, on the pubic bone and SI joint. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay. Log roll over to one side. Peel your body up off the mat. Comfortable seated position. Whatever that looks like for you. Wow. Pulling your attention and awareness into the state and quality of your body. What is going on? I'm going to take actually a wide angle here. I'm just going to. Moving that attention and awareness into the state and quality of your breathing. How does that feel after we did all of our deep ocean swelling breath? Feels pretty fucking good, let me tell you. My phone is acting up and I do not like it. All right, and then finally moving that attention and awareness into the state and quality of our thinking, our emotional and mental noise. What's going on now? You are in control of your to-do list. It's about 1,000 things long, maybe more. We don't need to do 1,000 things a day. We just need to do what's timely, right? So pick through, sift and prioritize, like a library card. Index, no, what was it called? Oh my God, the library card catalog? I don't know. I'm old. Used to go find a book, used to pull the drawer out and flip through the card catalog to find your book and where it was. Anyway, what are like the 5 most critical things you need to get done today? That's all I want you to let in your brain. Okay? We're going to move that attention and awareness. We're releasing practice. Whew! Honoring our body for doing what we asked it to do today. Taking a moment, right, to acknowledge that getting through each and every one of our days is some kind of a struggle. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes it's more. Give yourself that grace. And honor your body for doing what you asked it to do on this mat. Woo! My name is Julia. This is the fucking yoga company. Yoga for the rest of us. All of the benefits. None of the yoga bullshit. None of the fitness bullshit. There's plenty of bullshit here. It just doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing right here. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you are, okay. On Patreon, you can go to my Patreon channel. It's $5 a month. You get it all ad-free. I don't know what kind of ads YouTube is dropping into this, into these videos. Or you can, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Like, follow, subscribe. Like, follow, subscribe. Right? Is that right? I'll double check. And, if you leave me comment in the video, I will respond. You can email me through my website or contact me through my website, thefnyogacompany.com. And you can check out my blogs. I will probably be working, my goal is to get some more of that stuff up. There's a lot on my plate right now. There's a lot on your plate right now. So grace and kindness, motherfuckers, that's how it starts. It starts with us, and we try to offer it to other people. You never know what bullshit people are going through, right? Grace and kindness, people, and fight fascism. That's all I've got to say. Fascism is bad. I don't know why we have to say that. I don't know why that needs clarification. Fascism is bad. Ciao.